Yo, yo, yo. We are back after a little mini hiatus, but Damage Per Second Podcast is back. I am your host, Slow Mo Back Slap, the slappiest. Don't call me that. That's terrible. Just Slow Mo Back Slap, all right? My co-host, Mr. Gaming Forte, is here. My partner in crime in Remnant, as we dying to defeat bosses through attrition, not through skill, but through the consistently banging our heads against the wall until eventually the boss bugs out and we win by default.
But you know the funny thing about it though? We had that boss literally dead the run before that, where he had 5% of his health left.
Right, and then I just get absolutely demolished out of nowhere. I'm just how? Some of the times, the way that boss was just deleting our health, full health.
What's going on?
Just out of nowhere, he just catch you wrong, and it was just one. Remember the part? It was a barrier was up. And I'm waiting for the barrier to drop to shoot, but he already fired on me, unloaded everything he had, pause. And then, but as soon as the barrier dropped, it's just I had zero chance to dodge or anything. It's just I just got deleted. I was just, this game is fun. Remnant 2, the boss fights so far, I think I don't know if I can say they're superior to Remnant 1s yet. They're good. They're really, really good. And you really generally don't have any problems going through the game and the hatchery. You haven't experienced the hatchery. I did that solo. Yet. The hatchery is like going through the alien nest in the movie Aliens. It's just freaky like that. But
sounds like it.
But that stuff, it wasn't difficult. It was just like not scary, but it just had you on your toes, your pins and needles and stuff. And then, but them boss fights, good.
Man, I'm telling you.
Shout out to Luca, who has been doing these boss fights with us. We have been struggling, but we getting into it. We get into it.
You know what the funny thing about the struggle in those fights? It's like when you first walk in there, you're so scatterbrained. You're like, oh my. What's going on? This is happening and this is happening and where's my health? And we need to put this ring on and we need to do this and we need to do that.
Let's not talk about this too much, because Remnant 2 is a topic and our impressions is a topic, except for later on.
And then again, you played long enough for you to be like, oh, this wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But yeah, we'll get to that when we talk about the topic.
Damage Per Second Podcast, episode 142. We are closing in on 150. Good grief, man! It's been a good ride though. It's definitely been a good ride. Shout out to those in the live chat: Spider 13, Def Lloyd, Cat Daddy Alert. Good to see the homie Cat Daddy. We gotta do some road company, man. I've been trying to hold it down on my lonesome, and the randoms ain't really. They ain't getting the job done, man. If you see the footage I got right now, you see I'm being forced to use Saint in order to
so lobby balancing isn't on your side, Slow-Mo?
It never has been. Never will be.
they giving you all the putrid people and giving the guys to the other team.
Bruh, I am playing Road Company as the healer, and I am the person that gets the most kills. As the healer and getting double-digit revives in the match. It's like, help me, somebody help me, please. But no, shout out to Cat, Rosaire 00, Jeff B Gaming in the house. What's up, Jeff? Michi dies a lot, and Enrique, what's up, bro? We're gonna have a good show tonight. We got some topics here for y'all. I know we took a week off as I was on vacation, and I did get back Saturday afternoon, but I was exhausted, and 2 days after what we normally do it, we just decided let's just skip the week. Because typically what we'll want to do is if we can't do Thursday night, then we'll try to do Friday. But if it goes into Saturday, it's just like, I mean, is anybody gonna like? Does anyone know that we're gonna go live at this time? We just kind of just decide. Let's just go ahead, give ourselves a rest, and we'll come back fresh and refreshed.
There any topics last week? No.
Not really. I don't. Well, I mean,
it was some stuff, but
it wasn't. Yeah, it was a light week. It was a light week, right?
This week's a light week.
But Forte, what have you been up to over the past 2 weeks?
Well, we'll talk about one of them later. Been playing Remnant. I think the only day I didn't play with you was Tuesday because I did RDX that day. But other than that,
shout out to RDX.
We've been playing a lot of games together, Slow Mo. I feel like this is like becoming a norm. But I've been doing that. Still playing Battlefield 2042. Can't take my eyes and can't stop playing that game. And
we played some of that too the other night as well. Yeah,
And then outside of that, man, I mean, working with the I watched Guardians 2, well, Guardians 3. I watched that on it finally hit Disney Plus, so I watched that last night. So
Guardians 3 is very good.
Yeah, it is. I see what people are talking about. Like, there's some very emotional people out there for the very end of that movie. So I was like, okay, there's a lot of. I can see why people were like, I almost teared up and cried. I can see. I'm not saying I did, but I can see.
You
why.
did. It's okay.
Yeah, it was definitely good.
It's okay to be emotional. It's all right.
And then I don't know if people like. I got Apple Plus, Apple TV Plus. So I've been watching
Apple TV.
Yeah, Apple TV. Yeah. Plus. Well, I've been watching Hijacked on there with Idris Elba.
Yeah. I want to check that out. Is that good?
Well, the season finale, it's only 7 episodes. Season finale was yesterday. I've been, as much as I hate week to week episodic and having to wait for something week to week, I did for this show. And I will say that I was very, very happy with the 7 episodes they have for season 1. So I'm really interested to see what they do with the next season. But yeah, the show's definitely worth the watch if you got Apple TV. But outside of that, that's pretty much it, man. Playing games and listening to people, talk about Starfield need marketing and don't need marketing. It's been a great day.
Let me just say something. As the original Bethesda hater, look, I've been hating on Bethesda since 2018. Well, actually before that, I would say really I've been hating on Bethesda since about 2011, maybe 2009. It's whenever Skyrim came out and everybody was 2011. Like, okay, yeah, 2011. Everybody was like, oh, not Starfield. Skyrim is so great. And I'm sitting over here playing Dragon Age. Like, what are y'all talking about? It's BioWare, baby. It's about BioWare out here. Real storytelling. Forget all that ham face, look like you drunk when you're doing combat kind of gameplay. Forget all that crap. Your rads and your Fallout. There's trash first person shooting. Look, I've been hating on Bethesda for forever. I feel like people trying to jock my style out here. Y'all want to hate on Bethesda now for console warring. I hate on them because I think they really overrated. But that's just me. The game's not for me. I do understand a lot of people enjoy their games, and more power to you, right? It's a big old sandbox. The main storyline usually is doo-doo chunks, but all the other side content that they really get into that people really enjoy. I get it. It's a different kind of RPG, different kind of RPGs for everybody, right? But I'm just Dory Gray says whenever BioWare sells 50 million, let me know. What does sales have to do with quality? Madden sells great every year. Is that quality? No one cares. Terrible logic there, Dorian. Anyway,
he ain't lying though. Unfortunately, he ain't lying.
Well, BioWare is never going to sell 50 million. That's just, it is what it is. It's just, especially the way they are now. They are not the studio that they used to be.
Not even the same BioWare.
Right, it's not even the same studio. Like maybe the little studios that have kind of cropped up from the former BioWare developers might do something great, but we'll see. Did Fallout 4 win Game of the Year?
It did.
It did? Really? I don't recall that. I know it was dominated.
At least you know what? It had a Game of the Year edition.
Oh,
So
everyone's got a game. I got a Game of the Year edition of the slow-mo slappy-ish show. You know, it's not you know, everyone does a Game of the Year edition. That's nothing. Anyway, I'm just saying it's funny that everyone's talking about marketing and stuff, and we know that Bethesda does marketing differently than everyone else, right? Like most games would do a teaser trailer 3 years before the game comes out. Then they do a follow-up trailer showing you actual gameplay. Then they do a further trailer showing you more details. And it's like a whole thing for 3 years. Whereas, like, remember with Fallout 76 and Fallout 4, they just, like, it was like 6 months before the game came out. Like, no one even knew it was a game yet. It was just BE3, bam, here's a game, here's everything. It's coming in 4 months, you know, enjoy. And Bethesda's different like that. So I understand the concern from some people.
Game of the Year.
It did?
Yeah.
They ain't deserve it. But let me to me, look, they overrated me. It's fine, but anyway, like, you know, good shout out to them. No, but I'm just saying they do things a little different, and that's fine. They do things different, no big deal. But we all know when the game comes out that there are typical things that you will see from a Bethesda Games studio game. It's probably going to perform a little funny. It's going to have some bugs. You're going to have, but guaranteed what you're going to have is a ton of people playing it for a really, really long time.
Oh, you know what it beat? Can't believe it. Beat Witcher.
It beat The Witcher 3?
Yeah, it beat Witcher 3 that year.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was, it looks like it was Witcher 3, Rocket League, Metal Gear Solid 5, Life is Strange, Everybody Goes to Rapture, or Going to Rapture, and Fallout 4.
Everybody Goes to Rapture was nominated?
Yeah.
That
the best game.
That game's, oh my. Yo, I'm talking about, I played that game, right? It almost broke me. When I almost wanted to quit gaming after playing Everybody Comes to Rapture. That's how bad it was.
Oh,
I can't believe.
Hold up.
That can't be.
I got a redaction. There's a redaction here.
Okay.
Okay. No, that was the British Video Game Awards. The British game. The Game Awards, which is Jeff Keighley's show, which is the one that everybody universally like says is Game of the Year. Witcher 3 won.
That's what I thought. Okay. Thank you.
I thought it was weird too. I was like, wait, let me go do some
Hey, somebody made their own award show and nominated Bethesda. Get out of here.
Witcher 3 won. It was Bloodborne, Fallout 4, Metal Gear Solid 4, and Super Mario Maker.
That makes way more sense. I'm just like,
Rapture threw me off.
I was just like, what? And you want to know why the British award show had Everybody Goes to that awful game as getting nominated for Game of the Year? Because the developers, for some odd reason, decided to take an entire little sleepy British town and make it a 1-to-1 comparison, like life-like comparison of that town in the game. That's why it was nominated. So it was almost like it was biased. They were just did it on purpose. That game sucks so bad. Like, do not play that game. I'm telling you, it will destroy your love for gaming to play that game. It's absolutely ridiculous. And of course, they Fallout 4 is winning all the No One Cares awards. Good job winning the No One Cares award. That's going to be them this year too, because they losing to Zelda. But look. I like this. It is what it is. But the big time Bethesda, the actual true Bethesda fans, not the Bethesda fans that became Bethesda fans when ZeniMax Media got acquired, but the true Bethesda fans are going to enjoy Starfield. They're going to love it. They're going to play it. It's going to be 2026, and they still be going to be playing that game. So it is what it is. It's just as far as marketing goes, their base is tuned in. So, it's if people gonna know where to find it, especially on PC. You know, they're gonna find it at Steam, which is the reason why it's like charting in the top 10 of like games sold, even though it's still in the pre-order phase on PC. It's the way it is.
You know what?
Give me 1 second because my headset real quick.
No, you good. Yeah, guys, you know what's real interesting about looking at now that went down the rabbit hole of the Game of the Year.
Okay, I got it.
And 2015, I seen 2 outlets that gave Fallout 4 Game of the Year. Most of the outlets, which includes websites like IGN and like Destructoid and stuff, most websites gave it to Witcher 3. But there is a lot of websites that give
I don't like Witcher 3 either. I guess
there is a lot. Like I counted like 7 different publications that gave it to Bloodborne that year. And now I'm starting to see, like, because I have Bloodborne.
I can't hate on Bloodborne. I haven't played it yet. I'm waiting for a 60 frames per second version.
People want Bloodborne to get remade because I mean, dude, it got nominated a lot of times for Game of the Year that year.
I want it to get remade so I can actually decide to play it. You know, with a frame rate that's acceptable to me.
You don't want to play at 30 frames per second.
No.
No.
You know, I mean, if that was the case, I'd play like. Let me stop because I'm about to say something that I was about to. People gonna be like, "See slow mo out here." Like, all right, I'm gonna stop. Let me tell you guys, because like a lot of you may not follow me on Twitter, so you may not have been like aware of where I was over the past week.
Now remember? It's X.
No, I'm still calling it Twitter. It's Twitter. Your mama named you Twitter. I'm gonna call you Twitter, okay? So like, it's Twitter as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, on Twitter, I was tweeting about my vacation, which was actually pretty cool. I was staying at an Airbnb. We had a nice little pool in the backyard, and I, got to relax every day in the pool, just chill, have fun. Except for the days where we actually had to spend so much money for Disney-related things. Disney World is a scam. The only thing magic about the Magic Kingdom is how magical they are in taking your money and as quickly as possible. It sucks. Even my 7-year-old daughter was ready to go at 2 p.m. She saw the princesses and she was like,
"Oh, so you went to Magic Kingdom?" Yeah.
So they had a little play or whatever going on in front of the big castle. And she saw Minnie Mouse, and she saw Cinderella, and she saw Moana, I think, and Jasmine. I don't know.
And she was over it.
Yeah, and then she was over. After that, she was just like, "Okay, we can go now." And I'm just like, Nah. You can stay here. You can pretend you enjoying this because I spent way too much money.
Small World. Yeah, do the It's a Small World ride.
They did. Look. The rides there are terrible. Like, and I've known this for the longest time. Like, there's nothing there that's really new since I was like my son's 13.
Not Magic Kingdom. Not Magic Kingdom.
Well, I mean,
if you go to Universal, it's a different.
But Universal is Universal. That's not Disney.
I mean, it's considered all part of it, though.
No, it's not. They're different companies.
Okay, yeah, they're different companies, but most people when they go to Disney, Universal is like one of those stops you're making.
Well, I mean, we did like Universal last time.
If I go to Disney, like I get what you're saying because they are two different companies. But if I go to Disneyland, if I say I'm going, you're not going to say I'm going to Universal. You're going to say I'm going to Disney.
True.
And then you just going to go to Universal while you're there.
Look, we did Universal we went about 4 years ago.
So you didn't do it this time. I mean,
well, my kids had more fun going to random water parks that are just scattered all over Orlando.
That's fun too.
Right, than going to Disney World. So that's where we just ended up just really kind of doing
a lightsaber, man. Yeah. Good with the Galaxy's Edge. Spent $300 on a lightsaber.
Why don't I just like watch the entire Star Wars, awful series of movies? There's only one good movie then, it's just whatever.
What's the good one though?
Empire Strikes Back. That's the only good one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I want to argue with you on it.
I want to reiterate something that I've been saying probably ever since this happened. I'm sitting in Magic Kingdom, sitting on a bench, and this is my wife are getting on some trash ride, and I'm just kind of waiting there because I refuse. And I got like one of those little fans that has like a water gun on it, so it's like you spray yourself with water, and the fan just goes kind of cool you down because it was like the hottest day of the week that we decided to go, right, for stupid reason on our part. This woman is beside me. And she's not like directly beside me, but she's like maybe like 2 people lengths away from me if there were 2 people in between us. And she stands up, and then she just literally just collapses right there on the spot. Heat stroke, passed out, mouth open, eyes rolled up in her head, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like I jump up, I start spraying her. I don't know, with my water gun and the fan to kind of help cool her down. And some nurse came, and this nurse was just screaming like, "Bring me water!" And literally everybody, and shout out, people are in the heat of the moment. People are better than we give them credit for, because you would think most people would be like, shoot, that ain't none of my business. I don't know her. I ain't giving them my water. It's hot out here. But people was just like throwing water over there, putting fans and trying to cool her down. And eventually she kind of came out of, she woke up because I think she hit her head, and she was just overwhelmed with all the people that were surrounding her trying to help her. Paramedics came, but just it all happened because she underestimated the heat, and she passed out. And it's still summer, and it's hotter in a lot of other places than it was there on that day. I'm asking, imploring all you guys to please be careful with what you're doing out there, and please stay hydrated, please. By the way, is everything good? YouTube is giving me a error. I don't know why.
Oh Lord.
Man, let me see this. Not receiving enough video to make what are you talking about? Let me double check everything, make sure I am stream shit.
Is your connection still says what's the name though?
It says connection is poor, but it's like I don't understand what's I think this is a YouTube problem, because I saw other people complaining about this. See, the stream effed up a bit.
That's wild.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Because I have let's see here. PC is doing fine. This might be an OBS problem, but I had I haven't changed any of my settings, and there's no way I'm maxing my bitrate.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay. YouTube messed up, because now it says everything's fine.
YouTube had a hiccup.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, there's something going on with YouTube, guys, because it's saying that like the bit rate that it's receiving is way lower than what I'm sending out. So there's something going on either with OBS, or there's something going on with YouTube. So I do apologize for the issues you guys may be having with the stream. I think it might be cleared up now. It looks like stream health is getting better. It's back to good now. So I don't know. I think that was YouTube. We apologize. Let's go ahead and get into the show before YouTube cancels us now. Right?
Y'all talking too much about games right now. You're supposed to be talking about violence.
Right. So let's get into it. You ready to do this, Forte?
Yeah. Let's go.
All right. So Jedi Survivor. EA has announced that Jedi Survivor, that barely runs on current gen consoles, and also barely runs on anything but high-end PCs, is also going to come out on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. And I'm just like, how? Like what version of this game are y'all gonna put out? I don't know. It don't make any sense to me why they would decide to do this, because performance wise, the game still needs to be fixed on PC. They got that dumb AMD exclusive marketing deal, so that means there's no DLSS on natively. I mean, you can get it if you mod it, but there's no DLSS natively on PC to help with the performance. Part of the reason why I built a new PC was due to the fact of this game, and I got sick and tired of poorly optimized games on PC, and so I built a PC that would just basically brute force through it. I saw a number of people whose reaction to this announcement was, please fix the performance mode on consoles. And so my question to you, Forte, is does EA care?
Listen, bro, when I saw I blinked. It's like you had to squint at the screen. I was like, what are they talking about? This game doesn't even run good on anything that is currently out right now. What are you doing? And then I was like, oh, this is actually a real statement that they are ramping up to bring this game to older consoles. And I'm like, well, obviously what you're gonna do is most likely turn ray tracing off.
Which they should have did with the current. Why did you force ray tracing? Like what?
Right. It's like on console, at least on PC, you could turn off ray tracing.
Right.
But on console, it's like ray tracing is stuck on Xbox Series S and X and PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
So that's like the main reason why performance is like super terrible, because it's stuck on. So what you're going to do is more than likely is turn ray tracing off. You're going to turn down texture quality, depth of field, ambient occlusion. You're going to make that stuff all look terrible. The game's going to run at 1080p, maybe drop to 720p when it comes to certain areas of the game. And you're going to be like, oh, this is running on last gen. Oh yeah, make sure you turn ray tracing off, because those potatoes can't handle it.
You're going to put this game out that doesn't run good on current consoles on hardware that came out a decade ago.
It lets you know that this lets me know that they plan to do this the whole time.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Because you're not just gonna, because the effort, as much as we talk about scalability, I'm sorry, scalability for systems that old ain't, because if you're saying Xbox, they didn't say like Xbox One X. They said, and like PS5 Pro, they said Xbox and PS4.
Well, you can't that Sony and Microsoft make it so, like, yeah, you have, if you're gonna do a game for the series, the One X,
do it all the way.
Oh, you gotta do it for the fat VCR Xbox. If you're gonna do it for the PS4 Pro, you gotta do it for the PS4. So you gotta scale it for that.
Yeah, there's more people out here. I can see more people out here with the original PlayStation 4. Like most people that got the fat Xbox, they graduated from that thing so long ago. At least I hope they did. I mean, somebody, I guarantee you there's somebody sitting out there right now playing NBA or Madden, knowing it like, this is the greatest thing ever. I don't need a new system. There's probably definitely a person out there doing it. But this just is terrible. I'm like, can we please fix the performance that we're having right now? And you didn't make it a topic, but this is like right off of the back of EA just announcing that Game Pass, quote unquote, saved Battlefield 2042.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. Okay, Game Pass probably saved it when it comes to like getting people into the game to play, because Game Pass,
yeah, they said they get like a million new players trying it each time they drop a season. Which, look, that's great because the game performs great now.
But, well, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, it's not because, I mean, yeah, Game Pass helps because you don't have to go out and buy the game if you already have EA, Game Pass Ultimate. It's part of the EA Play. That's not a problem. The big reason it's doing better is because the game actually works. Like when we play the game, I don't feel like I'm the problem. I don't feel like I'm ghosting bullets around corners and stuff anymore. So I actually can enjoy the game. So it's real interesting to see where they're like, well, Star Wars is a bigger IP than Battlefield, and Battlefield's doing great because of Game Pass. But Star Wars was like, man, this game didn't do well at all because we got to bring it to previous platforms, and we're just gonna fix the issues that we should have fixed on console already. It's like, I don't get it. It's not even a money grab. It's just an out of touch grab at this point because most people aren't gonna play this game on their old systems. They'll wait for it to hit EA Play and Game Pass. But I wouldn't tell nobody to go out and buy this game in the state that it's in. Right.
And yeah, and actually it should be showing up it came out in what, March or April?
April 4th, I believe.
Okay, so it should be. I know you're not eating during the show.
No, why you say that?
Because I heard you eating during the show.
No, I moved something on my desk.
Oh,
I'm not eating anything.
Chat, did y'all hear Forte crunching? I heard anyway. The chat gonna tell on you too. Anyway, so that, like, usually for Game Pass. See, True Serum heard you. See, I knew it. Def Lloyd, a chip. I heard a chip too, Def Lloyd.
He heard nothing.
You know, don't try to do the voice. The voice ain't gonna help you. So unprofessional. Oh my God. Anyway, I apologize, chat. Anyway, typically what they do with EA Play and Game Pass is, if the game is, 6 months? 6 months after launch. Because I have EA Play Pro, so I on PC, so I get access to the game,
the whole game
immediately.
Right.
But
it's usually 5 to 6 months. Some games come faster, like 4 months. Like I know when Madden came like right around the Super Bowl, which was like 4 months after the game came out.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So it really just depends on the game. I remember I think Jedi Fallen Order didn't come until almost 8 or 9 months after the fact, because it was like it was literally almost a year later when it finally came out. But
was it selling well? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it did. I think it sold really well. Yeah,
it was selling really well.
That's probably why. Yeah. So there's a chance that maybe, because like if you go by what they usually say, then it would be like 6 months later. So it'll be like October that it'll show up on Game Pass. But more than likely, it looks like it will probably. I mean, at least October, but maybe later, depending on EA and what they do. Regardless, it's a little egregious to have this game coming out on last gen consoles, and I don't even know how many people they think they can really. I know there's a lot. There's like 50 million on Xbox. There's 115, 120 of PS4.
117 is the last number they gave.
Right. So you got over 150 potential people that you can be able to get to buy this game, but at what cost? Like, I to me, my whole thing is, what would I rather want to have the people who are going to be working on this port doing? Would I rather allocate those resources to fixing the current game right now, instead of what, as I've heard, they're already working on the next Star Wars game instead of fixing this one? It's just like, what would I rather have you do? Just fix it, or put it on hardware that can't handle anywhere near what you're doing with this game? It's just it doesn't make any sense.
You know what they're saying, Slow-Mo? They're using the old adage, time is money, and they feel like that Jedi Survivor has pretty much hit its apex on what it's going to do, at least on current gen consoles and PC. The next step for that game is Game Pass or PlayStation Premium. That's the next step for it, or give it away on Epic's launcher. Who knows?
And I would say, I would counter that with Cyberpunk. So Cyberpunk was broken way worse than this at launch. And even though it sold like 13 million, despite its brokenness, it had a resurgence later on in sales once the anime on Netflix came out, Edge Runners, which, by the way, when it comes to adaptations, Netflix is way better at video game adaptations than they are anime adaptations. Like, it's like night and day. So Edge Runners helped really give them a resurgence, and the fact that they actually fixed the game helped people who were interested in the game actually, but didn't get it because it was a broken mess, decide to go pick it up.
But is Jedi gonna get? you know how much I love Star Wars. Is Jedi ever gonna get that type of love from the cinematic universe of Star Wars? Are they gonna get that game, that TV show or that movie that's gonna make people be like, oh man, I gotta go play Star Wars? Are we ever gonna get that, Slow-Mo?
I mean,
I think those days are long gone, bro.
No. I mean, it's possible. You just gotta have. Look,
Ahsoka might be the next. Dude, I thought we would go get that with the Obi-Wan show, but that was just lazy. I felt like, there was parts about the Obi-Wan show that was really, really good that I really, really liked. Most of it had to do with just the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and seeing Hayden Christensen back on the stage, playing Anakin Skywalker and stuff. That was the most interesting thing about it, and I really, really liked it because I really liked episode 3 mostly because of the fight scenes and stuff like that were really, really good. So it was good in that aspect, but like story-wise, it just didn't make any goddamn sense or anything. And Ahsoka's coming out, I believe, at the end of this year or sometime coming up soon. It looks like that. Yeah, it comes out this month. It goes all, not this month, goes all the way through September through October. So we got a month until that comes. So that's the next best hope. But actually,
I think, shout out to Yobi in the chat. I think Yobi has a great suggestion. I'm gonna run this by you. He says the only way if we get a Star Wars show focused on Cal Kestis, even though I don't like him, it would definitely bring people in. I do think that will work. A lot of people do like Cal Kestis. The actor is a really good actor. I forgot his name from Shameless, and he could definitely do a live action version of the same character, Cal Kestis. I think that would work. As bad as Disney has been with Star Wars on Disney Plus, why not? Give it a shot. What do you have to lose at this point? You've been really dropping some poor content that, what was the one, not The Mandalorian, even though I thought the last season of The Mandalorian stunk, even though the first two were good. What was the other? What's the name of the bounty hunter dude that everyone likes for
Boba Fett?
Boba Fett, like he's so overrated. But like, yeah, the Boba Fett show was terrible. And so
the first couple episodes were terrible. It got a little better at the end, but the whole thing as a. But that's what I'm talking about. Things that should be home runs are terrible. And you got Bob Iger out here talking about selling off Disney. It's just not good, bro. And then you got the Lando Calrissian show that's still in the works. They're still working on that.
Why? They're just doing a show for everybody. Won't you do a show for the Cantina dancer? On Coruscant or something. It's just like, what are you doing? Or Dantooine, or whatever the name of these silly planets are. It's just
it's Dantooine, but you had it right. The character dancer.
Just
talk about the one with the long antlers.
Yeah, just do a show for her too. Just like, what are y'all doing, bro? Anyway, let's move on. EA got EA. At least now they are allowing the developers the freedom to not use their trash engine, or forcing them to add multiplayer to games that don't need multiplayer whatsoever. So there's that.
That's true. And guess what? They're working on another Star Wars game, and Vimpella got his head down working on Battlefield, and they're making a new Battlefield game, and it's supposed to like rejuvenate the franchise. Like, we ain't heard that before, but I have more trust in Vince than anything.
Right.
Because he's not, but the fact that he's not over at Respawn anymore, kind of working on that, lets us know that I think we're never going to get a Titanfall 3 ever. But
also shout out to Yobi, Sam Whitmer, who played Starkiller.
That would be good if they
in the Unleashed games. He wants to come back. Those games were great back in the day.
Unleashed games.
Yeah.
The first time I saw him pull a Star Square out the sky, I was like, "Yo,
Yeah, and that would be awesome. Like they have the material to do awesome stuff. It's just are they actually willing to pull their heads out of their you know what to get it done? It's just I'm skeptical.
Game that works. That's where it's just the basic thing of games. Does it work?
Right. Now let's move on to something. Part of the reason why these games don't work, which is Nvidia. And Nvidia, so what this is really about, this isn't the reason why I said the reason why some of these games don't work is Nvidia likes to sell graphics cards with not enough VRAM in them, knowing good and well that these games require far more VRAM than what they're putting in their overpriced products. But hey, Nvidia fanboys on PC who continue to buy them, so it is what it is, right? But they also apparently were planning on having a 4090 Ti. So the 4090, the RTX 4090 is the most powerful GPU in the world. They were planning a 4090 Ti, but then canceled it. And so my theory here on why that is because AMD did not provide a top card that actually compared with the 4090 or surpassed it in rasterization. And so if you look at previous generations like the 3090 had competition from the 6950 XT, I think it was, and so they made a 3090 Ti. They had a 2080 Ti as well, to follow up from the 2080. At this point, the 4090 is still king. They have no reason to make a Ti for that, and they should probably keep it up, keep doing what they're doing. But they probably will keep doing what they're doing with selling that, and then they just worry about the next generation cards in 2025. I think I heard that they might be releasing. But Forte, what are your thoughts about this? Did I lose Forte?
Oh no, I muted myself. I was eating a chip, so I muted myself.
Oh, so you do have chips? See,
they were chips. They were.
Yeah, and why are you eating during the show? Is the question.
Because I worked until 8 o'clock and came straight home. I'm done eating. I was eating chips. So you
guess who else hasn't had dinner today? Okay,
that's your fault. You've been at home all day.
Hey, I've been working. Okay,
doing at home.
Working doesn't matter. Been working, making videos, okay, preparing for the show. Doesn't matter. I'm still hungry. And guess what I'm not doing? I'm not eating during the podcast is what I'm doing.
I ate 3 chips. So be quiet. Leave me alone.
No, I'm not going to be quiet because you won't be quiet with your chip munching.
Oh my God. Okay, so back to what you were saying.
By the way, the footage I'm showing is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart playing at 4K max ray tracing on PC.
Oh, so, can you spot where the SSD is a problem? I don't see it yet. But
you won't not on my rig. you won't.
Not on that PC.
Yeah, no, I'm still working on that video on the video that breaks down some of the testing. A lot of people have done testing already. I've got a couple of things that I've tested that I want people to take a look at. So, but.
No, but you had an interesting point there, and I definitely agree with it. But the one thing that really sticks with me is the fact that when did Nvidia actually care? Because they'll still sell a 4090 Ti for $2,600. They would still sell it. So
they would.
Yeah. The fact that yes, you're right. They don't have to make it because AMD isn't pushing them. What's the name? Is it pushing them with their Arc line? With the Arc line, they're not pushing them at all. So they really don't have an incentive to make it. But the incentive usually for Nvidia is the fact that we know we're going to sell it. So that is still shy. And I was like looking at the thread. Because when I went to go click on the thread for the video, the link that you were sent for it in the DMs, I was reading through their comments and everybody kept saying, oh man, my next generation card got canceled because there is a lot of people. I mean, when I say a lot, subject to like people that usually buy like 4090s and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Most people won't buy into a TI comes out because normally those are the more stable versions of cards. They kind of got a chance to mature. You're better off hitting the silicone lottery on those cards because they usually save the best die for those.
Yeah,
so
but
that's why you. So I'm not saying that. Yeah,
but that's still when you say a lot of people in retrospect, it's less than 1% of PC gamers.
Yeah, it's less than 1% of people, just like it's less than 1% that buy a 4090.
Right.
Most people, if you had to break down the 40 series, most people are going to settle in the 4070s and 4080s and more, and it's going to be majority of them in the 4070s.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 4060, if they ever do one, is going to be the one that's going to win out in the end. So I definitely agree. It's just, I've never seen Nvidia walk away from money because they charge us an arm and leg for this stuff. But I welcome it because it lets me kind of know that next generation ain't too far off. Like you said, 2025, because normally what I do, I wait a generation and I skip.
Right, that's what I've done this time because I'm sticking with the 3080 Ti. I should be good with 12 gigs of VRAM until they drop another card. I think right now I can see it in some cases where I need more than that, but they're typically unoptimized games at that point when. And
plus, you haven't started seeing the Unreal 5 games really hit their stride yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think once you see those games, like a lot of them, and the performance is like pretty optimized on them, then you're gonna start seeing
I'm doing a play test for a game that I can't speak on the actual name of it, but it is an Unreal Engine 5 game. I'm doing a play test for it next week.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, tell me later.
I'm gonna send you the. I'm gonna send you the specs they provided me in the email of where they told me part of the reason why I got in is because of they
theoretical
asked
specs.
Yeah, no, they asked me to provide the specs on my PC. And then they allowed me in, but like when I looked at,
it was like your PC won't blow up.
Basically,
it's okay, your PC won't blow up. You can't sue us. Okay, cool. We'll
I looked at the minimum spec and I was like,
God,
a 2080 is the minimum. And yo.
It's about that time, man. But yeah, this is not a big deal.
No, not even 20. A 2080 Super was the minimum GPU.
Oh, that's what I used to have. If I will still have that 2080 Super if I ain't come across this 3070 Ti at a really good price.
Right. Anyway, it's just like, what are they doing? I don't know what's going on out here, but yeah, I already know that game is going to perform really poorly based off of just the what they told me. The recommended GPU is my GPU, a 3080 Ti. That's the recommended GPU. And the CPU was something like, I think recommended CPU was like a 12900K.
Dang, okay.
Yeah, i9 12900K.
That's the one thing I will say. It's been like I've been very against going full PC because I do like the experience of playing on console, but man, they make it so easy for you just to play on PC. And the thing is, what they don't realize is the more and more that these games don't perform the way they supposed to perform on console, and it's getting it's like you're making it easier for people to move over because PC is not as hard as it used to be to get into compared to like 5 years ago.
It definitely isn't. And I'm working on a video as well. I got the bug. I'm working on videos, man.
Look at you.
I'm working on the video.
I can't use my intro no more if you made one.
Yeah, that's part of the motivation. That's part of the motivation there. But no, I'm working on a video to kind of like, there's I think a way for both. I would say probably both Sony and Microsoft to do this, but probably more so Microsoft because of how they view the PC market. But there's a way for them to help integrate gamers into the PC ecosystem if they so choose to, and it's very similar to what we already see a lot of other companies do. But I'll have a video out soon that will kind of explain all of that. But I think that Nvidia is just kind of resting on their laurels a little too much. More than likely, the reason why they canceled the 4090 Ti is they're probably dedicating that silicon towards AI, which they're making a ton of money off of. And part of the really poor sales of the 4070 Ti, which is way overpriced, and the 4080, which is even more overpriced, they're offsetting all that because they're into AI. And I really hope, and this is just my hope here, that Intel provides some kind of competition, because AMD ain't doing it. AMD's cards are good, but they price them like they think they're Nvidia Lite, and they're not. Nvidia has 85% of the GPU market. You have 5 now. I'm sorry. Wait. No, 7. They got, basically Intel took half their market share in the GPU market in less than a year, with cards that had terrible firmware and cards that it was your first time really putting up something that was really competitive in a long time. And Intel did that not because the cards were good. They were, it was kind of a laughable launch. They did that because they priced the cards appropriately for what they should have been. AMD going out there and pricing their cards like $100 cheaper or $200 cheaper than super overpriced Nvidia cards is the equivalent of, say, Hyundai deciding to price their vehicles, I don't know, a couple $1,000s cheaper than a Mercedes. It's just like, what are you doing? No one's buying that from you, bruh. Like, come on now. Like you're Hyundai. Be Hyundai. Mm-hmm. Okay.
be a upscale Kia.
Yeah, like do better. And Intel seems to understand where they are in the market and price their products appropriately. And I think I saw something. I'm not 100% certain about it. And I know some of the console people want us to get off this topic, so I'm gonna say this thing. We can move on. There was something about Nvidia trying to strong arm the card makers like Asus and Gigabyte and whatnot into not making Intel's next generation card, because their next generation card is going to be a high end card, which kind of, if they price that appropriately, that's definitely going to eat into Nvidia's market share. And they can't stop Nvidia from making those cards, because Nvidia has their own foundries. They don't even need TMSC to make cards, to make the chips for them. So it's going to get interesting early next year. I would definitely like to see what Intel can provide. Just so, I mean, at the very least, that they can provide competition and maybe force Nvidia to be a bit more fair. But we'll see what happens.
So the cool thing that I did, and this is, I guess I'll let you know this now. I have, how PayPal has, like, they have the different accounts that you can have in there. Like, you can have a savings, a lender or savings account and stuff, or you can have an account that can go towards like a trip or something, and it basically just it just holds the money there so you can keep it there. I have one for a Nvidia 5000 graphics card. It's actually called Nvidia 5000 graphics card, and I've been paying into it $20 every 2 weeks for like the last 3 months.
So what you gonna get? You gonna get like a 5090 by the time it comes out?
Yep, that's the go. Whatever I can afford, that's what I get. No, because I'm not. Because listen, I already know if they're already talking, like, if they were talking what they said was $1,600 for the 4090, and it ended up being $2,000 at retail. Yeah, so I'm thinking like myself. I'm like, I'll just keep putting money into this thing, and then by the time this card gets announced, I can just walk in there with the money I saved over a year and a half, and I can have a 5090 on day one. That's the goal. So that's what I try to tell people. The only thing I'm trying to tell people is PC gaming is definitely an expensive hobby.
Or Forte, how about this, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or you could look at what's out at the on the like. I refuse to spend more than $1,000 on a graphics card. I just feel like it's wasted money at that point.
It is. I'm not gonna lie, and part of it is the fact that I know it's almost like peer pressure because I know a bunch of people that have it. But the biggest thing is, I'm gonna tell you right now, Slow-Mo, I'm saving this money, but you already know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna call you the moment I'm getting ready to go to the store and buy it, and you're gonna be like,
"Don't do it."
Forte. Just like you talked me out of the last one, you're gonna be like, Forte, just buy a 4080, buy a 5080, don't buy a 4090. And I'm gonna be like, Slow-Mo, I got the money though. He's like, yeah, but you can update your PC, you can get more RAM, you can get a new motherboard. I was like, they Slow-Mo go, I said, you spitting facts right now. And then I'll do something different. So you'll be my first call when that happens. But the only thing I'm trying to tell people is, unless console gaming is your number one gaming, you're never going to walk away from it. And I'll always be a console gamer too. I just like having the option of playing on PC, because if they mess up on games on console, I can just pivot and play just like I am on Remnant, because Remnant sucks on console for most people and it's way better on PC.
Oh, really?
From what I hear, I had a couple people come to the store and I asked them how Remnant was. They said, man, it's kind of laggy for me. I was like, they said, well, not you. I said, well, I'm playing on PC, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, its performance on PC ain't the best either. The developer came out and said that we have they came out and said that they optimized the game for upscaling. So
they went the opposite way with this game.
Yeah, they actually optimized the game so that like they intend for you to play it with FSR and DLSS and XESS and not just play it straight rasterization, just straight up TAA.
So if you ain't got a 4090, you ain't got no hope.
Well, no, I mean you playing it on PC. You mean without the upscaler?
I got a really good CPU though.
I mean, I do too, but it's I can't remember. Did I try it without the upscaler? I think I did. Anyway, that's a good topic, right? Because we can discuss. We can discuss Remnant.
Remnant. Shout out to the homeboy J Dub with the $2 super chat. What's good, Slow-Mo Forte? Hope all is well today. Hope's good for you too, bro. Haven't seen J Dub. Haven't seen J Dub out in the streets lately. You know, Xbox.
Oh, he's been busy.
Oh, he been busy.
He been real busy on Twitter.
Oh, he been real busy on Twitter.
He been busy on Twitter. That man has got a lot of haters right now. Shout out to J Dub, man.
We're marketing.
But no,
kind of crazy how Spider-Man is being marketed like too. I think that's my biggest thing with the marketing. Spider-Man is being marketed like crazy. They're about to sell a system to people on September 1st, and that system's gonna be sitting on your counter screaming Spider-Man 2 to you for the next month and a half before you can even buy the game. It's gonna be crazy.
And let me tell you what I still won't have by then. Them daggone PS5 covers. What's up with the plates?
They sold out in 3 minutes.
How you gonna make like 20 plates and then let scalpers take all of them and they don't leave nothing for anybody? Like, and then be like, yeah, we ain't making no more. I know. No. This is what they doing, right? Because they're removable. They took them plates. The bulk of those plates they made, they put them on those special edition PS5s for Spider-Man 2s. So they're just like, hey, you want these plates so bad? Why don't you just go buy a whole new PS5? And my answer is no. You made plates that I could be able to buy. I want to spend $65, not $265 on eBay, but $65, buy some plates, pop off these purple ones, put them on my PS5.
You know what would be real funny is because they're charging you $5.99 for that system because it does come with the game. Yeah. But the funny thing is,
it also comes with the special edition controller too.
It comes with special edition controller and it comes with the plates. The funny thing is, I was kind of hoping it. I can't wait to see somebody unbox one finally. It's like they're gonna open up the boxes, like, and all they're gonna see is a white system in there, and the plates are gonna be separate. He was like, wait a minute, you ain't even put the plates on the system? I know that's not how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But they're not, because trust me, Sony ain't gonna give you 2 plays. They're gonna be like, no, we ain't giving you the white plays. That's for people that don't want special edition consoles. And I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. But no, it's just interesting when you sit there and you think about that Spider-Man is going to be literally having a console sitting in people's houses. And all they're gonna do is think about Spider-Man 2 for a month and a half, and that's marketing in itself. You know, when a person walks in your house and sees those plates or sees that system, they're gonna be like, "Oh man, that's the Spider-Man system. That mug looks sweet. Did you play the game?" They said, "No, it don't come out till next month." And they'll be like, "Oh, I need to get that." And that's just gonna be a conversation starter. And that's the kind of thing I've been talking to people about with Starfield and not getting its kind of marketing push. Not saying it absolutely needs it, because Starfield is one of those games I think can sell itself. But you know, they already
did similar to that, didn't they? Don't they already have like a Starfield headset and the Starfield
which they missed
controller and
the controller and the headset, and they did a special edition, the Constellation edition with the watch, which is really really cool. But they need more. I just feel like they need it to do a little bit more, and maybe they will. They got time to do it, but there's where slow-mo falls off the bridge.
It wasn't just me and Luca fell off the elevator. You know, hey, these elevators in Remnant, make sure the elevator stops before you step off. You know, you might end up falling to your death. But no, and since we talk about Remnant.
Yeah, let's talk about Remnant.
We discussed it a little bit at the beginning of the show, but this game is just so much fun. I really enjoy when there's like a good game, like its first entry was really good, and it was kind of a sleeper because no one knew the name of the studio. It's an independent developer, so it's not like backed by a platform. Didn't have crazy marketing, but it was just it was Dark Souls with guns. Give it a shot, and people really enjoyed it. And then they come out with a sequel, and it's almost everything that you wanted, right? Like, it's like, hey, I would like this better and that better, and it's like they actually listened. Like Gunfire Games, the developer, listened and provided those things. So it's awesome to see. Shout out to J-Dub with the $5 super chat. Says, do we need Starfield console gameplay before launch, or no, does it matter? I would say yes. You need to show console, even though I think they say that the Starfield Direct that was after the showcase was console gameplay. Did they say that was Series X gameplay?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so it seems they provided that already, but as long as, like, I think if you're releasing a game on both PC and console, you have to show to me it's almost like false advertisement, like Redfall. Like that was false advertisement. You can't just show PC gameplay and then it being like, oh, whoopsie, it's only going to run at 30 FPS on consoles and there's a blurry mess and all this other stuff. Like, you can't do stuff like that. You got to show it on both. I think they should always show it on both.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, Forte, what are your thoughts on Remnant 2? Because like for you, this is all brand new because you didn't play the first game. So
yeah, I didn't
like,
play the first one.
How are your thoughts on it?
I like it. I like it a lot. I like the atmosphere. I mean, it's real. I literally, while I was at work today for the first time, because I was like listening to you guys talk about all the secret areas and I got to find out how to get to this and get to that. And I was like, I feel all left out because I didn't look at no videos or any type of like anything like that. So I was at work today and I was like looking up stuff like, oh, cool, we can go get this, we can go get that. And you know, games like this, especially being my very first one, I'm really enjoying it. Most guys know I'm a shooter at heart. This game being a shooter, but with a lot more harder combat tied to it is really, really cool. I'm really, really enjoying it. I like I said, the atmosphere is good, and then playing it with people that you actually like playing games with definitely make it even more enjoyable. I'm starting to literally understand how Slow-Mo and Luca, I don't understand how they didn't kill each other in Remnant 1. And being in a party with them, I can definitely understand every conversation that I was hearing from the first game because they are still arguing with each other and stuff in this game. But it's cool, and I like that, and that's something that a lot of people don't get a chance to really experience. And I think they did a really, really good job with the overall, like I said, atmosphere. The boss battles are really, really cool. It does have a little bit of a learning curve to it. We found out there's a gunsmith in the game, literally 5 or 6 hours after playing it.
Dude was been standing right there by the shooting range the entire time. Right. We just like, where the guns at? I'm out here trying to find. There ain't no guns nowhere. Dude got a whole arsenal. He ready to sell us.
Right. Oh yeah. So y'all could have been buying this stuff 6 hours ago. But yeah, the game's fun. Game's really, really enjoyable, and I can definitely see, I can definitely see this game being way harder playing it by yourself. Because every time I jump in there doing things by myself, I'm like, okay, I actually gotta really pay attention. Compared to when you're playing with other people, you still gotta pay attention, but it's a lot more laid back of an experience. But it definitely tests you when you get into those boss battles and stuff. And the way we're playing it, we're basically jumping into each other's game, because the only thing I will say I hate is the fact that there's no cross progression on anybody's campaign. So
let's discuss that real quick. And I think that was me and Luca's chief complaint with the first game.
It's mine too now.
There was no cross, there was no progress for campaign progress for those who were not the host. But when you look at this game, and you've been playing it, like the way it works for those who haven't been playing the game is that there's RNG even in which world you start with. So me and Luca are starting in the same world, Naruto. That's our first starter world. But Forte got a different starter world that like looks like something from Bloodborne. Yeah. And our starter world looks like something from Prometheus or Aliens.
Yeah.
And you could definitely see like the influence in other like classic movies and classic video games that they drew inspiration from, and the way they decided to do their art direction and just the themes that go on in different worlds. But it doesn't, like, I can kind of give them a pass for the lack of the cross campaign progression due to how they made it. Because even in the boss fights, like in the previous game, you would get to a section and there's always a boss there, but it's not necessarily the same boss that you would have played if you did it with like I would play with Luca and we would fight a boss, and then the next day we would be on my campaign and we would go to the same section and there'd be a different boss there. They don't do that quite in this game because it's the same bosses in the same dungeons, but the way it works is you got RNG for different dungeons, and then even the locations of things, like there's a particular hidden archetype, a hidden class that I'm looking for called the engineer, and it's not in the same spot in this world every single time, but I'm still looking for it. And it's just like little things like that I think are pretty cool, and I can understand them choosing to make the decision to go that route, and why having campaign progress for everybody just doesn't work for this game. That's no excuse for other games where everything is completely static, it's not dynamic whatsoever, and they still don't give you campaign progress. It's only the host, and it doesn't make any sense. So but it does for this one. The boss battle you've seen here is the Custodian's Eye. This fight took us about an hour and a half to beat. Maybe more, Forte.
It was, oh shoot, what time did we get off? We got off about 11:30. We started playing at 9.
Yeah, so it was about 2 hours.
Every bit of an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was about an hour and a half, 2 hours. It was I
mean, like I told you, it's real interesting when you look at it. You go in and you're like, at first we wasn't even going to do it. Remember, we were looking for another area. Yeah. And then we started looking up everything that you can get from that area from the boss. And we was like, yeah, maybe we want to do this. And Lucas said, okay, we can do this to see how hard this boss is going to be. And it didn't take long to get to the boss. I think we cleared everything and we were at the boss in like 15 minutes at most.
Yeah.
And then when you get into the boss arena, it's like the learning begins. And it's like everything goes into like everything's on fire. What's going on? Why am I dying? And we probably did that for about 40 minutes until we said, okay, calm down. Let's figure out. It's like something that you would think you would do right off the back. Like, okay, what are the mechanics? What is the boss doing? What is his tails? What is his combat rhythm? And
right. At this point, don't run. Like, don't even shoot at him when he does this. Just run. You know, little things like that. Like it's a boss fight that like this fight. And it's a boss fight that you just gotta download the boss and learn them because you're not beating them on the first shot. It's not happening.
Yeah, it was cool though.
Yeah, now I'm enjoying playing it. I'm not like rushing through it. It's the next time we play it, I will live stream it because I've been requested to live stream it so people can see the tomfoolery live and in person. So I'll definitely do that. Maybe Saturday, I guess whenever we decide to jump on again. And I think it would be in your world, Forte, right? Because we did Lucas. Yeah, so yeah, look out for that. I'll probably go live on the DPS channel, so you know you guys can jump in there and enjoy the entertainment. Moving on though, we are let's discuss this game that just came out now. Just come out on PC, but things are looking up for it. I checked the Metacritic reviews on Baldur's Gate, and they were actually pretty high. Like it was like it was only 3 reviews that were there, but out of those 3 reviews, I think the lowest was a 90. Mm-hmm. So I haven't checked it since earlier today, but reportedly like 500,000 people on Steam were playing it concurrently at one point. Mm-hmm. It has released. Look, this is the kind of game that PC gamers love. You know, like a old school D&D style RPG, but just more modern. In a video game is right down people's alley now. Like I know like this is the roots of like Larian and BioWare and Obsidian and Exile and them. I've never really been into these kind of RPGs. I'm getting this. I'm gonna play it tomorrow though, just because every now and then I may like dive into these kind of games. I didn't get into like BioWare until like Knights of the Old Republic. That was like my first really foray and really enjoying some of these RPGs back then. But this has always looked good, and Larian has such a high bar for quality, and their reputation is excellent. Like here's a game that it's not gonna have any microtransactions. It's just here's the game, buy it, enjoy it, you know. And so it's been in early access on PC for a while, but now the full release came out today, and then I think next month on the day of Starfield it actually comes out on PS5, which is pretty funny.
A lot of stuff happening on the day Starfield comes out.
Yeah. What are you, so with the way this seems to be reviewing so well, what are your thoughts with this one? Do you think this might end up being like a game of your contender? What do you think?
It definitely has the chance. I mean, it's a lot of other games that's a consideration. It just depends on how big that line's going to be. They have a lot of pedigree. I mean, if you were a Divinity Original Sins fan, you'll feel right at home with a game like this. I haven't played Baldur's Gate in a while, but just visually, it looks good. And the only thing that I keep thinking of is the fact that I feel for everybody on Xbox that can't play it right now due to whatever the heck's going on with the co-op aspect of the game not being able to be played over there. But outside of that, this is the one thing I am happy is they're not holding the game back for one platform not to be able to play. They just say we'll just release it on that platform, because normally what you see is, unless it's Nintendo, because Nintendo is definitely the only platform that most people will just skip over and bring it out later on. They usually don't treat PlayStation or Xbox or PC like that. I like the fact that they say, listen, we this game's ready to go. We're not going to hold it up for any platforms, and we're going to get it out there. And I actually really, really like that they did that, because you're not holding up people from playing the game that can play the game. And everything I see, I did play in the early access that they had on Steam a long time ago. It's been, some people don't know, it's been on there for quite some time.
Yeah,
you could have played it for a while now.
Yeah,
but it's finally
over a year
final stages where they actually for a year. So, but you can finally, actually play the full release of the game, which is great. Like I said, the character development is actually really, really good. I think the overall look of the game is going to be really, really cool. And then just another one of those games that you could just play with other people, and it's way better with other people too. I'm just glad to see that so many people jumped onto this game, especially knowing that Diablo just released. And I do think that this game is probably benefiting for the fact that people just are tired. Like, I haven't played Diablo in a while because they nerfed all our builds, and it pisses me off.
I might be uninstalling Diablo pretty soon.
You know how much I love Diablo, and I just refuse to play it because it's like their philosophy in the way that they built the game is counterintuitive. It's like, make builds, nerf sets, like set pieces, don't nerf characters. Because when you nerf characters, you're nerfing everybody's build in general. No matter what kind of character they are, you're nerfing them at the fundamental level. And I have a problem with that.
Look, man, you and I play a lot of looters, and we and stuff like games like that, and we always have dealt with that aspect of things. When you make a build and you spend hours upon hours of setting that build up, and then the developer just decides to just nerf it.
Yep, just nerf it.
It's like, what frustrates me is when you don't have PvP.
Yes.
And this PvP isn't a primary focus, and you still decide to nerf stuff. I'm just like,
who cares if I kill a monster a tenth of a second faster than somebody else?
Right.
Who cares? But no, I do think that a lot of people in those numbers definitely speak to me to tell me that a lot of people are probably a little frustrated with Diablo. This is probably the best time that Diablo supposed to be having this resurgence, like the biggest player base it should ever have, because it's like the beginning of season 1, and now you're seeing a lot of people jumping over the Baldur's Gate, and I'm super happy for them to know that they have a audience of people that want to jump in and play that game, and it's definitely worth playing. And I didn't know you were jumping in there tomorrow. I'm more than likely to jump in there with you tomorrow after I get off work. So it's going to be fun. I'm definitely going to jump in there though.
Yeah, I'm picking it up tomorrow. Whether I end up playing it is a different story. It's tomorrow's going to be a busy day for me with work and stuff. And I said it's still just 3 reviews there. There's a 100, a 95, and a 90 on Metacritic for it. But I imagine like that's probably going to remain consistent. Like, it's when it gets enough reviews to get a number in there, it's probably going to stay somewhere in the 90s. So it wouldn't surprise me if this game does sneak into the game of the year conversation.
Yeah.
This year's been just so competitive. So many games. So many games still not out yet, that Spider-Man 2, Starfield, just so many games that are coming that are just amazing. So it seem to be amazing. So we'll see how it goes. Have you ever played Final Fantasy 14?
I did. Way played it right after they quote unquote fixed. Well, they did quote unquote, they did fix it, but I played right after they fixed it. Got to level, I want to say 37 before I stopped playing. But yeah, I played it a little bit. I think it was the fact what got me in that game was a lot of my friends been playing it since day one, And it's like how you feel with Destiny. It's like you're so far behind. And then I found out, I was like, oh, usually in games like this, you can skip a lot of stuff. But in order to get to where they are, you had to progress through basically the story missions that they have that are baked into the MMO. And you're talking about 40, 50 hours just to get to where they were. And I'm like, I don't know if they streamlined it since then, but they probably have. But I just refused to do it at that point. I was still heavily into Destiny at that point too, so it was kind of hard to like validate to do both. But I did play a good amount of it though. I
tried it out on PC about 2 years ago. I thought it was really high quality, but just unfortunately for me, like I'm kind of averse to games that really dominate all your time. MMOs, looter shooters. I can't do them no more. I like the ones that I do play are ones that I just always already playing, and I play them very, very casually. I don't play them like I used to, where it's like a second job, and you just because my time is limited, and I'd much rather spend my time playing the multitude of games I'm interested in, and not just one game. And so for those reasons, I dropped Final Fantasy 14. That said, it is good to see that's coming to Xbox finally. This is like a long time coming. And Phil Spencer showed up for the Final Fantasy con, whatever it's called. And he was on stage with Yoshi P. Said that not just this game is coming to Xbox early next year, which, by the way, you're getting, for those who were maybe concerned about, oh, this is a game with a subscription, it's like $15 a month or something like that, or whatever it is. Oh, I don't want to spend that. I would say still try the game out, because one, you get free levels up to level 60. Mm-hmm. You're gonna get expansions, not just the base game, but like other expansions as well for free. So you're getting a ton of content up until the point where then you would be forced to have to spend some money. And at that point, if you don't like it, you're going to drop it well before that point. And if you do like it, you're probably not going to mind spending the subscription cost, whatever that is, to continue playing it. So I would say if you're interested in the game, still go ahead and give it a shot, because you might actually enjoy it.
I believe you can go up to level 90 for free, or your 30-day trial.
I thought it was 60.
Okay, it might be 60. I know it's
I think they've extended some things for Xbox, because the way it's, because I think there was, I can't remember the name of their expansions, but they've got, I think there's like 2 expansions in there that you can get. Now the footage I'm seeing here, the trailer for Dawn Trail,
next one for next year.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be, that's not a part of the free stuff, but
no.
Okay. Shout out to Mr. Joanna Dark. He says for Xbox is level 70 in both expansions. So there you go. So that's actually. That's a lot. That's a lot to, if you hit level 70 in any game, you like it.
You definitely, and that's what I think, is you got the 30-day trial and you got the level 70 boost. I think the level 30 is, or the 30-day trial is also a concurrent with up to level 70. Like you get 30 days, but then you get up to level 70. But if you hit level 70 beforehand, you can still play on your 30-day trial. Just depends on when you do it. So there's ways to go even further with that, but you know, once that runs out, you gotta pay the $14.99 a month after the fact.
Okay, now in addition to that, Phil Spencer said on stage that it wasn't just Final Fantasy 14, that there were more Final Fantasy games coming. So I kind of wanted to throw that to you. What games do you think are going to appear, Final Fantasy games you think are going to appear on Xbox? I have my thoughts, but I want to hear yours first.
Well, I think 16 will appear. 16 will come.
Really?
I think 16 will come at some point. I think the reason you don't see 7, because I do think 7 is going to come too. But I don't think 7 is going to come until after they're through with all 3 all 3 versions of the game
Yeah.
first. I think
Now,
you're gonna
I think
see
they were.
that first.
I think 16 has like a 2-year console exclusive, time exclusive to PlayStation. So it came out last month. The earliest it could show up on Xbox is June of 2025.
Yeah. So I do think it will hit console. Well, hit Xbox, I should say. Then I said, like I said, however long it takes Final Fantasy VII remaking all their expansions to come out finally, I do think after that is all said and done, maybe a year after the last one drops, you'll see it finally hit Xbox. Because it looks.
Hold on. Remember in the ABK hearing where there was documentation out there that and I think even maybe they even said it, on stand, or maybe somebody from Xbox said it. They said they're never getting Final Fantasy. So of course, this is like prior to maybe some announcement or some negotiations Phil did with Square. But and Square's got a new CEO now, so maybe he's got new designs on how they plan on doing things in the future. But didn't they say that they were never getting Final Fantasy 16? The same way they were never getting Final Fantasy 7 remake. So I wonder if there has been some kind of like extension on Final Fantasy 16, the same way there was an extension on the timed exclusivity for Final Fantasy 7 remake. That's why I said it was curious you felt that it would show up.
Well, let me ask you this. Does it really matter if it comes, if we're talking about a completely new generation by the time it does come?
Well, see, there's the other thing, right? So like let's talk about Final Fantasy 17. 16 just dropped.
So that's a whole nother thing right there. I think
guaranteed Final Fantasy 17 isn't going to be released anywhere until next generation.
The next generation.
You're looking like 2028 the minimum, right?
Right.
Right. And so, thank you, Joanna Dog. Joanna Dog says Phil said it in the ABK Discovery Papers along with Silent Hill 2. I knew I saw that. So it's just
he did say that.
So when Phil says we're getting future Final Fantasies, more Final Fantasies, that could be like the pixel remasters.
I think they should get. I like the pixel remaster. I have it for Switch.
Right, so like that's like those that could be like if they do want to do another kind of spin-off kind of like Final Fantasy Origins.
Well, remember Final Fantasy 9 is being rumored to be remastered,
which is great. Actually, it should be remade. I heard it was a remake because
I heard it was a remake too.
9 was the last Final Fantasy I truly enjoyed before 16. I enjoyed 16, but like 9 was the last one I really enjoyed. Before then, I do think. Here's my theory of Final Fantasy games, main ones that the people want the most. I don't know about 16, but I do think a trilogy of the 7 remakes will eventually show up on Xbox. And what I mean by that is like, we know that Sony extended their time exclusivity for remake, and we know that Rebirth is only coming out on PS5 and then later on PC. It seems like that time exclusivity, Square seems to only when the time is up to drop the game on PC and that Xbox, where it used to be. I think that when whatever the language is in the contract, whether it says we will not, we're only going to release remake, Rebirth, and whatever the heck the third one is going to be. Let's say it's called Resurrection. Okay,
that's actually a good one.
If that's it, if that's it, they got it for me. I want credit, right?
That's actually a good one.
So let's say this Final Fantasy VII Resurrection. All 3 of these are only going to be on PlayStation, on the PlayStation 5 the PlayStation consoles. But then Square could then, like, there's always loopholes in contracts. They could go, well, we're going to do a collection. The same way they called Final Fantasy VII Remake with Integrate. It was called. No, that was it. It was called Final Fantasy VII Integrate.
Yeah, it was called Integrate.
Intermission was the 5-hour DLC with Yuffie. So they called it Integrate, even though it was really just this remake with intermission together. They could call a collection, call it Final Fantasy VII Redemption, and that is actually the trilogy of all three of those games, all the content for the 7 remake stuff, and then put that on Xbox as a collection. But that would be like close to the next generation when the third one's out. But I just kind of feel like, I mean, it's good to see the business relations between Square Enix and Xbox are improving, and a lot of those games are going to show up on Xbox again. It's just also, you're not going to see those games for a while, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And I agree with Joy in the Dark. Final Fantasy VI needs to be remade. That's the best Final Fantasy, at least in my opinion. Story's excellent, characters awesome. I think the only and part of the reason why I kind of feel like my favorite game ever, Chrono Trigger, probably won't be remade by them, is that I think going from the style of game that it once was to what they would need to turn it into, that's a lot of work. That's and if you think them breaking up 7 to 3 different games, like I could see 6 being getting the same treatment or with more installments, or I don't think they would need to do that for Chrono Trigger, but just it could be problematic with trying to adapt that for a modern look with modern gameplay, and I mean we'll see what happens, but I love to see it though. I love to see them attempt it.
It's gonna happen at some point. Just how long we gotta wait.
Right. We are out of topics, man.
What?
Yeah. We out of topics, bro. You want to do a Q&A? What do you want to do?
We can do a Q&A.
We're going to do a Q&A. Chat, let us know what you guys want to talk about. You got any questions for us? We'll do that for a few minutes before we get up out of here. So,
can't believe it. I just want to know what it's like. So I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
What went through your mind as you were going up that elevator and you thought that elevator was going to stop and it didn't?
Look, I saw an opening and I thought that was where the elevator was going to stop. So I just walked out. And then it turned out that wasn't what it was, and I just fell to my death. So that's what happened in Remnant, man. Lucas saw the same thing. She did the same exact thing. So it wasn't just me. It was both of us.
Yeah. It was. I just looking around like I was looking around like John Travolta with a jacket in his hand. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I dropped a video earlier today. The video dropped earlier today was a review for The Expanse, a Telltale series. Telltale's first time dropping the game since they have come back as the new Telltale under new management. Check out the video. I think it's it's my video, but I think it's good. I do like the cadence now, because it used to be back when Telltale was first out, they were a lot less organized, and they'll drop a first episode and it'll be like 6 months into the next episode, and like by the time it comes out, you done forgot like what happened. You don't remember what your choices were. You don't even remember some of the characters, and you're just like, huh? And just their inconsistency in their releases was frustrating. But this is what they're doing now. They're dropping 2 games. an episode every 2 weeks. So the next episode would be August 10th. And the way I'm doing these things now, I used to live stream these kind of Telltale games, but I think it may be more organized, and people may enjoy it more of me doing a review of it and then kind of talking spoilers after the review of the decisions I made and how I felt about things. And, for those who've actually played it, they can actually get that aspect of things and really enjoy it. Or if you just don't even, care to play it, but just kind of want to see someone else's opinion on it, that works too. True Serum Zeros, is Baldur's Gate going to take some shine away from Starfield? Forte, what do you think?
I don't think so. I think Starfield's big enough to the point where it's going to be perfectly fine. It's not like Baldur's Gate. Now, if Starfield was on PlayStation, is it possible it could probably do a little bit? Maybe, but the fact that it's not on PlayStation, I don't think it's going to really affect it. And even on PC.
What do you mean? Baldur's Gate's on PlayStation?
No, I'm talking about Starfield.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
but Starfield not being on PlayStation it really can't affect it. We're mostly talking about PC because it's coming out the same day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the people that want to play Starfield on PC, that game is going to take precedence more than anything. That's the game that for PC gamers, that's the game that they've been waiting for. Where Baldur's Gate is a game that they'll pick it up and they'll play it. They may not pick it up day one. It will still get bought or something or played. I just think Starfield is it's pretty much already good for whatever it needs to do.
I think there are two different, like they are RPGs, but they're going to be hitting two different crowds. The Baldur's Gate is really going to really scratch the itch of people who like CRPGs. And people who kind of want a modern look on the old school D&D RPG. That's not really what Starfield is. That's not really what Bethesda is doing. They're a Western RPG. This is a Western RPG. I think it'll be two different crowds. You're going to have your Bethesda faithful that definitely going to be there for Starfield. But there are people who are big into RPGs but aren't big into Bethesda RPGs. And so I think both games will fit their audience and find their communities. I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's clearly it's doing great on Steam right now. I don't think that's going. I think you'll see some of those numbers drop, before Starfield comes out. That's natural. People are going to try a game and be like, "Hey, this ain't for me," and they're going to stop playing it. But then I do think a large number of those people are going to continue to keep playing it. But you're going to see some of those people go over to Starfield, but probably not like a mass exodus or anything. It's not going to be like, "Hey, I played this for a month. Now I'm gonna go play Starfield." Nah, I think both games will have their audience.
Mm-hmm. I agree. 100%.
Sam says, "What do you guys think Sony would do next with either acquisitions or exclusive content to continue making the platform desirable?" I think Sony is going to look at more acquisitions. I don't know if they're going to get a publisher as like a counter to ABK, but I do see them probably looking at like big developers like CD Projekt Red, like someone that can provide content that their first party portfolio doesn't currently have, right? And they don't have anything that's like Western RPG-ish, which is something like a CDPR could actually provide. I think they'll probably go more that route than trying to finance the kind of move that Microsoft has done with ABK. It's like they're both rich companies, but Microsoft is a different kind of rich. They pay for ABK just straight liquid. Just straight. Yeah, we got that right here. And that kind of money, like Sony could I don't think Sony could make the ABK acquisition, but like a big publisher, they could go for that, but they would have to like really finance that in a different kind of way. And I don't think they're even willing to go that far. Nor do I think they now, with this increased focus on the video game market by regulators, with their position in the market, I don't think they could acquire a massive publisher and get away with it. I think it would get blocked. And a lot of it is due to the fact that this ABK acquisition was so big. So many regulars, like people in government who had never even looked at video game market as anything more than just like, that's just, you know, it makes money, but it doesn't make money. And then they go like, oh, this is making, they're spending $70 billion on this. Like, what's happening? So Sony being top dog in the market, it's going to be difficult for them to make those kind of moves and justify it as something that's not like a anti-competitive thing. So I think they'll go after smaller fish, but like not necessarily unimportant developers, unimportant fish in the market. You know, what are your thoughts on it?
I think the funny thing is, all they got to do, honestly, is just keep doing what they've been doing. We saw that from the documentation from the ABK testifying the emails and stuff, that they really aren't worried at all about anything that's really going on, even though I feel like to an extent they probably should be, because they definitely want to get their gas games up and running as fast as possible, because that's the one thing that they're really falling behind in. I do think that Square Enix, there is a lot of people keep saying, well, they don't need to purchase them or anything because they already get a lot of the benefits of the partnership just naturally.
Yeah, but now, like with Phil Spencer talking to them, they may want to change their mind on that.
And that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to tell people is it's the same thing that happened to Xbox back in the 360 generation with BioWare, because just because you're getting all of the, you're getting the milk and everything, you're getting the eggs and everything, doesn't mean you don't want to own the thing that it comes from, because I think they're playing kind of with fire when it comes to Asobo, because I feel like Asobo is one of those studios that
well, they couldn't make any other acquisitions into the ABK thing is, and that's still not officially done yet. So I do think Microsoft is going to grab Asobo as soon as they can. I think.
Yeah, because if you want to talk about just a studio that I feel like is a no-brainer for them, that is it. I feel like would it be like a hard hit to them if they didn't buy Asobo and somebody else purchased them? I don't think it would be like horrible, but I do think that studio does a lot for them. They got a game, they got their Microsoft Flight Sim that they've been making for them for a while. We saw that Plague's Tale is a really, really good IP from them that they actually make. So I just think that studio right there is one of those studios that they don't want to mess around with, because just because they're there now don't mean they'll be there later. Look at what happened with Killer Instinct. Iron Galaxy got taken away. I think it was Amazon. Was it Amazon that purchased them? Or was it,
I don't remember.
Or was it Google?
It wasn't Google. It wasn't Google.
So it was Amazon. Amazon purchased Iron Galaxy, and Xbox has been trying to find somebody to do something with Killer Instinct ever since. So that's an IP that might as well be dead right now, because you don't have anybody that can make a game for it.
Yeah.
And so what will happen with Flight Sim and stuff like that? So I think that's the thing that they need to do. And I feel like for Square Enix, and I feel like for Sony, that's what Square Enix is. Final Fantasy is like one of those games that they really just don't want to lose their grip on, even though they do get the ability to basically just money hat it as much as they want. I don't think they want to lose that ability. See what happened with Starfield. Microsoft saw that, we didn't know that's exactly how it happened, but kind of find out, Microsoft found out that they were trying to, buy them, or not buy them, but get the exclusivity for Starfield and make it exclusive. And Microsoft was like, oh no, this ain't happening. We're just going to buy the whole house. And that's what they should do. But Sony's going to make some moves. What they're going to do, who really knows? They have enough money. They don't have enough cash on hand to do like really, really big deals like Take-Two or anything like that. But that doesn't mean that they can't make deals like really, really big deals that people don't think they can make, because they do have stock options. They do have some cash on hands. They could do some type of, consistent thing of all those different things to make a deal go through. So they're going to do something, who really knows? But honestly, I just want them to bring out games, because guess what? Spider-Man's going to come out. It's going to be incredible. Wait till you hear what Wolverine looks like when they finally do start talking about that. That's going to be something that's going to
Insomniac carrying once again, and you know, at some point, everyone else going out to look, and I know some people not going to like this, but everybody else got at PlayStation
gotta catch up.
They got to step up, man. I'm not saying step up the quality. I'm talking about step up the release
of games.
Yeah, because it's Insomniac running it, and shout out to them and their process and their workflow. Like they do this without having the crunch, which is like insane to me. But if you look at over the next year or so, we're looking into 2024. What is PlayStation that we know of based off of what we saw from the showcase? What are they providing? So we're getting,
supposedly there's another showcase this year. I don't know that.
I don't think that's real. I believe it when I see it.
Exactly, mean the same thing. So as of right now, nothing. The only thing we know about,
I do think that we'll see released. So they showed three live service games at the showcase. It was Fair Games, Marathon.
Yep.
What's the other one being made by Fire Sprite?
Oh shoot! Fair Games, Marathon.
Concord. Concord?
Oh, yeah, Concord.
Okay, so I think at least one of those releases next year. Probably Marathon, I would say.
Marathon, yeah, I think.
Yeah, because Bungie's been working on that for a long time. Fair Games, I mean, Haven just got acquired. Haven just really came into existence not too long ago. I think that game is at least 2 years away. And Concord, I have no idea what the freak Concord. I mean, look, they just showed us a sandwich spaceship and like going into light speed. Like I have no idea what the heck's going on there. So I don't know. But when it comes to like kind of like some of the more, and I'm fine with them making live service content. Hopefully some of it really hits, because I like playing competitive games, so I'm down for that. But I'm really more like, the reason why I own a PS5 is I own a PS5 for single player, narrative driven action adventure experiences. Some people call them sad dad simulators, but hey, I'm a sad dad, okay? Sad dad me up. I'm there for those kind of experiences, and Insomniac's delivering on the single player content. Spider-Man 2, their Wolverine, I think because of how different Wolverine is, I don't think Wolverine is going to be soon. I think it'll probably be like 2025, just because they're not going to be able to easily adapt how they do how their other like tools from other games to work for Wolverine, because it's just so different. Well, at least it should be. So I don't think that is that's going to be coming anytime soon. So they're going to need like Factions 2 and Dorian says Helldivers 2, which I forgot. That's supposed to come out this year too, right? I believe Helldivers 2 comes out this year. Which looks interesting. You know, I tried the first one. I tried it live on stream. Wasn't for me.
Oh, the first one is terrible.
Hopefully there's an improvement there. And it looks, I mean, visually looks way different, but we'll see what happens. I would like to see what like Sucker Punch is working on. Sony Santa Monica, the other game that apparently Cory Barlog's been working on. Naughty Dog said they're working on a single player game that's unannounced. What's up with that? You know, I'm ready to see more than what they provided. Is that all the questions we got? Because if so, we can get out of here. We can go. We can go. I can eat dinner. I ain't had dinner yet.
I had chips, so.
Yeah. During the show.
Shut up.
Then lied about it.
Came back and told the truth.
Like it doesn't matter. You lied first.
What did they say? Tell the truth, shade double.
How about you just tell the truth the first time, especially when we hear you crunching in our ear. Shout out to Ramon Terrell with the $5 super chat. Says, "Sup, long day. So have to catch the replay." Shout out to the homie. Shout out to you, Ramon. Hope you had a very successful day on the set of Hallmark's Will They or Won't They rom-com. Ramon is playing Ramon is playing I'm trying to think of a Hallmark Channel name before the love interest, the guy. Give me one for it. Clarence. No, that Clarence doesn't work.
Clarence doesn't work.
Chase. That's it. Chase Reynolds.
Let's call him just Ken.
Ken?
Just Ken.
Just Ken? What?
Just Ken. He's just Ken.
That's his. He doesn't have a last name.
No, he's just Ken.
So was he in the Barbie movie now?
Yeah, his name is just Ken. Can you imagine? Listen, can you imagine Ramon Terrell with that bald head in the Barbie movie? Did you see the Barbie movie?
He can make it work. He can make it work.
He would make it work. He'd be just Kid, because Kid can't have hair. So just Kid, you gotta go out and get all the skin waxed off.
Oh,
did you see the Barbie movie, Slow-Mo?
I have not. I need to see. I want to see that, but I just can't see myself going to the theater and paying to see a Barbie movie. I'll wait until it comes on digital and I'll watch it there. I do want to see Oppenheimer though. I might see that next week. I plan on seeing it.
70mm. Jesus.
That's good. Yeah, I got you. That's my next one to check out in the theater. If we ain't got no more questions, we're gonna get up out of here. Dorian says Trevor Birdsong. Oh, that's a good one. Trevor Birdsong.
Oh man, that sounds like something out of, I don't know.
You know, like the
what movie would that be?
How many Hallmark Channel movies start like this?
Let me ask you, what movie could you see Ramon, if you had to take Ramon and replace him and replace an actor with Ramon, what movie or TV show would it be, and what character?
Is it have to be a current running show?
No, it could be anything.
Okay, Diggle and Arrow. And the CW show Arrow.
You gonna put him on the CW?
Yes, and well, he's been on the CW before. He was on iZombie, I think that was called. But no, and considering the comments from Stephen Amell, out here, not supporting these actors, his own fellow actors, he might just go ahead and just replace Stephen Amell as Arrow. Let's race swap Arrow. Put Ramon in there. No, what was I about to say? I was saying, how many Hallmark Channel movies always start with like the lonely divorced white middle-aged woman coming back to her old hometown and meeting her old flame again and rekindling their relationship? Like that's Ramon. He's the guy in town. That's Trevor Birdsong. Trevor
Birdsong.
Oh, you're still here. You look amazing. Let's get out of here. This is too much.
I'll make him my favorite. In my favorite movie, he'll be Sergeant Apone in Aliens, cussing out Marines and stuff with his bald head. I can just see him walking around trying to be super serious. Look into my eye. With the cigar in his hand as he says it, look into my eye.
Oh man, I watched Aliens. Okay, When I was on vacation, I watched Aliens. I watched Aliens and I watched Heat.
Oh, Heat's good.
He's so good, man.
He's so good.
That movie is so good.
But back to Aliens, because Aliens is great.
Yeah, Aliens is a classic.
Doesn't it, dog? Doesn't it hold up visually today?
Yes.
That's what I keep saying. Why you watch that? Oh, I was like, cause there is not a lot of movies that was made in the 80s that still hold up today. And the reason they're so good
I read a Twitter thread that talked about all the behind the scenes stuff with Aliens.
Batman. Oh, for the Alien one. Okay, yeah, you talking about the Alien
did
one.
you know that the Hispanic girl wasn't really played by a Hispanic woman?
Yep.
She was played by the white woman who was the mother to John Connor in Terminator 2.
The Terminator.
Crazy.
Sarah, I forget her real name.
Yeah. Apparently, Jim Cameron was the director, right?
James Cameron.
James Cameron hated the production staff in England that he was working with, and at the end of the entire like shoot on their last day, he didn't do one of those, hey, I appreciate you guys, just being, kind of being nice thing. He was like, I'm just glad I don't have to see your faces ever again.
It makes sense, man. It's crazy.
It was crazy. The black dude, Apone, that you talked about. He admitted the only reason he got the role. He was an actor, but he also was a Vietnam veteran. Yep. And the only reason why he got the role is they wanted someone. They didn't have to hire a consultant to come on set because they wanted the Space Marines to look and hold guns like a real Marine would. And so he was really kind of like hoping to like, hey,
he's like a lazy, what did they call it? A liaison.
Yeah. He was teaching them like real trigger, support, like how you're really supposed to hold the gun, all that stuff. It was awesome. Like I love Aliens. It's one of my favorite movies. Yeah,
I love that movie, man. I watch every time it comes on. I watch it, and without any. It's like those movies hold up. Just like I watched the Predator 1. I watched that recently because it still holds. It's still funny to me that Jean-Claude Van Damme actually thought he was going to run around in the Predator suit. I was like, he got mad because they didn't pick him. I was like, well, dude, the Predator's like 7 feet tall.
Right, you're 5'5", if that.
120 pounds soaking wet. Who's gonna be scared of you?
Oh man, let's get out of here, man. With Forte, let everyone know where they can find you. What you got going on over the next week? You dropping any videos, man?
Yeah, definitely working on a couple for actually, because I've been working so much, I got a couple that's probably one that's coming out tomorrow. I'm making a video on the Battlefield thing with EA, talking about how Game Pass has definitely helped Battlefield, especially since that's a game that I really, really know and like and love. So I'm going to be made a video about that. That should be out tomorrow. Outside of that, man, just ready to play some more Remnant with the homies. We're probably not going to play tonight because shout out to the homie Ashley Lucas. She got work tomorrow, so probably won't play till tomorrow night, but that's okay. It's going to be great. And I appreciate everybody that does come through, check out the videos. Outside of that, member-wise, I have that list up right here. And I do want to shout out the people that support us in an amazing way. First, I got Brat, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast, Dino Brown, Erodimus, Dragonheart Yobi, Stardust Acero, Ramon Terrell, Hargy Shani.
No, that's Trevor Birdsong.
Oh yeah, Trevor Burton.
Bird song.
Oh, Bird Song. Trevor Burke's Bird Song. Oh, that. So you got 2 syllables in your last name. Let's go. Hargy Shani, Corey Hale, the homie Slomo Backslap, DJ Oris, and that guy Smitty. Really appreciate you guys supporting in that way. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games that you're playing, and make Microsoft do some marketing for Starfield. because it would be great if they actually did that. Y'all have a great weekend. See you guys later.
And on my side of things, I got Vay Babe, Donnell Brown, DexFlex27, Dragonheart Yobi, Enrique, Hargeet Shani, True Serum, Erodimus, Ramon Terrell, aka Chase Michaels, aka Trevor Birdsong. You know, like I gotta say all his names for all the rom-coms he's in on Hallmark Channel. Homie One Kenobi, Game Forte, Corey Hale, Stardust Acero, and that guy Smitty. Again, like we really enjoy you guys rocking out with us and supporting us in the way that you do. Please continue that support. We appreciate you. We will look out for the DPS channel. We're gonna go live and play some Remnant 2 at some point within the next day or two, so just look out for that. I got a video coming out on some testing on Ratchet and Clank on PC. Definitely a lot of my testing is about how there's a massive like difference with this game compared to other games, with whether you have a Generation 3 PCIe motherboard versus a Gen 4 or Gen 5 PCIe motherboard. So look out for that. And
yes, sir.
My video on what Xbox should do when it comes to PC gaming. I got a nice little theory going on that you guys should check out. So all that's coming out in the next week. So look out for that. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your games and peace.
Enjoy your games and make sure that Slow-Mo. I heard he was making a video about remember his video on black hair, what it looked like in video games. I heard he was making a video on what you should do if you're starting to lose your black hair. So be on the lookout for that video. Have a good night.
Why would I? Hey, look, I got a full head of hair. Y'all don't know that, but I may be graying, but I ain't losing nothing.
He got a receding hairline. Starting to look like LeBron James.
You got a receding hairline. I ain't got a receding nothing.
I definitely ain't got no receding hairline. Your hairline get pushed.
We getting out of here. Getting out of here.